Hey beer tubers, it's Ryan. Thanks for joining me once again for another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. And thanks for joining me during Christmas Beer Week. Today's Christmas Ale is going to be the St. Bernardus Christmas Ale. I've never had this beer, but it looks like a lot of beer tubers are grabbing this one this year, checking it out, and I've heard some good things so far. This is an Abbey Ale, sort of on the darker side, somewhere between like a quad and a double, but with 10%, it's a little more along the lines of a Belgian strong dark ale. So I'm gonna get this thing opened up. Now I learned some things on these Belgian beers. The fact that six turns to get the cage off, and then if you watch Dr. Bill Sizek and his Master Pairings channel, he talks about how to properly open a Belgian beer, and that is rotate it until you just let out some of that CO2, and that's what I'm going to try to do here. So you kind of want to push down. The cork wants to come out, but you just want to really leak out that initial pressure to kind of hold in some of that CO2, and I guess that produces a better head on the beer. So I'm having trouble here. Well, I screwed that one up. Oh well. Hopefully I can work on that when I'm drinking more Belgian strong ales and triples and anything with a cork. But I'm going to use my Chimay glass, which I haven't used yet. And I will be doing the entire line of their beers. So really nice looking beer. It goes from like a ruby red on the bottom up to a real nice kind of dark ruby red into mahogany color. Good amount of carbonation coming off the bottom. Got a finger, just a nice off-white head, and I can smell this already when I popped it. Just huge dark fruit notes, just a ton. You get some bready, yeasty quality. So I get a lot of plum on the nose and that dark fruits. Do get a touch of the alcohol, but it's not too present. And then bready and spicy characteristics, which are probably coming from the yeast. And I did let this one warm up, so it's probably about 50 degrees or so right now. So I'm going to dig in. Cheers. Yeah, you just hit with that carbonation up front. Something you typically get with a lot of these Belgian ales. They're always very highly carbonated. But once that carbonation sort of washes over your tongue and fades away, that's where it really follows the nose. Big time dark fruits right there in the middle of the tongue. I get a plum, almost like a sour cherry, maybe into kind of a raisin character to it. There's a bit of caramel on there that kind of goes towards the end, and the finish is really nice. Some Belgian strong dark ales, they can have a kind of a poured back end where it just kind of has this stringent, almost bitter like character to it. And this one finishes really nicely. It's very cleansing. It's kind of it's dry on the dry side as well, because you get some of that spice right at the end. It's a really smooth beer for 10% and being somewhat fairly young. I don't know how much time this might have been aging at the brewery. St. Bernardus, they're not a Trappist brewery, but they because they don't brew inside the monastery. So I've been sipping on this one a little longer. Really nice head regeneration if you swirl it around. As it warms up, I mean, it's a very complex beer in terms of like all these dark fruits you get in there. It's like every drink you're getting something a little different. Like sometimes I get like, oh, I'm getting like fig, a little fig that drink, and the next one I'm getting, that's more raisin. Another one's like, oh, it's like a tart cherry or a currant, and then sometimes you get like a little more caramel, so it's like maybe touch a molasses brown sugar kind of, and then you're getting a little like more spice from the yeast. So it's a great beer in terms of being really smooth and drinkable and complex, and something's always changing every sip you take. And so yeah, I got to give this one an A. It's an excellent beer. I do like this one fresh. I'm sure it would age very nicely, but right now, I mean, this is a great beer, drinking it right away. I might pick up another one, maybe save it till next Christmas time, but definitely recommend getting this. It's a very tasty Belgian Christmas ale / quad, whatever you want to call it, Belgian strong dark ale. But highly recommended. This should be found all over the country. The more I'm drinking this, I mean, the alcohol, it's slightly there. It's very well hidden, and that's why my score is as high as it is, because it's a very well crafted beer. I mean, this almost makes it into the A+ range for me. I mean, it is really close. This is a really tasty one. It's not a Trappist ale, but it's a great Abbey Ale from St. Bernardus there in Belgium. A for me. Till next time, comment and subscribe. Cheers.